Man, this video is dedicated to the conservative clout chasers that loves to use the disdain of consciously for you to build some conservative capital. We ain't gonna hold on too long at all. We're gonna jump right into it. This right here is dedicated again to the conservative clout chasers that love to keep my name in their mouth. And I got the red hat on too, because I know y'all like to pay attention to people with red hats. This one says research over me search. You're gonna tell what they mean by the end of this video. But let's get it. If you look like me, actually, before I jump in there though,
spontaneous percussion.
Just for context, I made a video talking about if you align with white supremacists and you look like me, that you a sucker, and we had a lot of suckers that came up. And you can side with the party that literally aligns themselves with the KKK.
Well, damn, consciously, where the fuck you read that at? Or did somebody tell you that on YouTube? I know you do. I know you got too many followers not to be reading shit. But let me give you some literature.
As I can already tell, conservative clout chasing coming real hard, and I love a nigga that think they can put some hood bravado, hood flavor on trying to push conservatism and think that shit cool, or think that it's coming off as being persuasive. It's not. It's not at all. I'm going to read y'all what this document says after the video, and then we're going to parse through the document and parse through a lot of the ahistorical, pseudo-intellectual claims that's made in this video. You feel me? This individual is named A Smart. I can tell he not smart. That's the reason why he put the word smart in his name, because he's trying to convince himself of such. Let's get into the facts, though.
I couldn't wait to get somebody with a platform your size. I know you ain't gonna pay me no mind because these ain't my motherfucking words. You can pause it and read it for yourself because I already read it in the other thing.
Let me pause it for y'all and read it, just so we have full context of what is being said. That way, a lot of y'all know I'm a policy debater, and I love to do a little line by line. You feel me? A little line by line debate. Line by line means you're gonna respond to the argument your opponent made. What this says right here, what I have it paused on, it says on page 9, after line 23, insert the following and redesignate all the follows accordingly. Whether the Democratic Party should be responsible for any compensation awarded. He says, hold on. Whether the Democratic Party should be responsible for any compensation awarded, since it is only relevant entity in existence today that supported the institution of slavery. Based off that sentence alone, we know that the individuals that made this particular source, they also have a ahistorical reading of what happened in history. I'm reading the sentence again. I'm going to correct the sentence. It says that whether the Democratic Party should be responsible for any compensation awarded, since it is the only relevant entity in existence today that supported the institution of slavery. It is important to acknowledge that both Democrats and Republicans owned slaves. It is also important that there were entire states that was a part of the Union that literally got to keep their slaves because they decided not to secede from the Union. Shout out to Delaware. It goes on to say, this support includes, but not limited to, the following actions. Democratic Party platforms in the 1800s and advocated for the institutions of slavery. The Democratic Party leading to the 75 calendar day filibuster against the 1964 Civil Rights Act. Keep this in mind. The 1964 Civil Rights Act and what it did and what it was on. Keep that shit in mind throughout this video, because I'm going to be intellectually busting Ace ass throughout this video, specifically when it comes to policy. It goes on to say this document, he said we got to read. I'm gonna let the video play after I'm done reading the document, because I want to make sure that we understand the context of what is being said. It said that the Democratic Party platforms in the 1800s that advocated for the institution of slavery. The Democratic Party leading a 75 calendar day filibuster against the 1964 Civil Rights Act. A member of the Democratic Party, Senator Robert Byrd from West Virginia, a known recruiter of the Ku Klux Klan, leading following Democrats to their opponent in the civil rights and African Americans, that Democrats enact the enforcement of Jim Crow laws and civil codes, forced and segregation and restricted freedoms on Black Americans. When we start talking about how that the Ku Klux Klan in present day supports the Republican Party, you usually have these Black Republicans that give you this very historical revisionist idea of what is going on right now. They will point out to you that the Democratic Party was in fact the party that started the Ku Klux Klan, but they never tell you about that Southern strategy and Barry Goldwater. Keep it going though.
Long story short, everything that we ever needed in order for us to get here, us, came from Republicans. They literally fought against everything. Ask your people at the DNC about the 75-day filibuster. It's right here in the amendment. You see what the amendment is, right? I don't have to tell you what the fuck amendment is, huh? Please pause this and read it for your motherfucking self. Who is the racist ones? Who fucking trying to get people chicken in the ass for fucking getting a vote, huh?
Is the Republican Party not trying to appeal to black people using sneakers, hip hop music, the fact that Donald Trump got shot, and the fact that he got convicted felons? Is the Democratic Party is the ones that we're gonna make the video go and we're gonna get into the facts. It's gonna be a history lesson about the Southern strategy and specifically how so many of the Southern Dixiecrat states ended up switching over to becoming Republican states. You feel me? When we're talking about massing them and people that fought to keep us on the plantation, those were Dixiecrats, Southern Democrats. We're going to get into how they became modern day Republicans, showing you that this individual right here, and most of them clout chasing black Republicans, they be being disingenuous when talking about history and being disingenuous when they start talking about the political nature of black people. Before I let the video finish, I want to make this clear. I am not a Democrat. I believe in the political, social, economic independence of black people, and I believe that it is a reason why structurally black people are killed and incarcerated at similar rates, whether we're talking about left-leaning Democrat blue states or we're talking about right-leaning red Republican states. Ahmaud Arbery got killed in a red state, in a red city, a city and a state that was ran by Republicans. George Floyd was killed in a city that was ran by Democrats in a state that's ran by Democrats. We see that whether we're talking about left-leaning states or right-leaning states, that both of them had the insatiable appetite for locking up and killing niggas.
Who can't name one policy, but you can speak on the whole Project 2025? Huh? Consciously. I know you ain't gonna come talk to me because these ain't my motherfucking words. These... You know, amendment, both sides got to come together to make this motherfucker. So you mean to tell me both sides came together to tell you how they structurally try to keep us from fucking getting votes, fucking structurally trying to keep us in chains literally.
Remember, he said structurally keeping us from getting votes. That's what he said. That's what he said.
And you want to tell me if you're going to look my color and you're going to vote with them, shut your ass up. You don't fucking read.
Hey, remember, I don't read, shut up. And it's something to be unpackaged when you got black men that try to act all hood, bravado, trying to pop up the Republican Party, the same party that's literally criminalizing your black screaming ass. It blows my mind. And to be clear, my argument was Republicans are bad. His argument was Republicans are good and Democrats are bad. I only have to win Republicans are bad for me to beat this argument. And I've already made it clear that I am not a Democrat. As a matter of fact, the same black Republicans that love to point out that in 2023, I was invited to the White House to meet Joe Biden is the same black Republicans that never want to point out how I was in a Rolling Stone article the same exact year for criticizing the political notions of Joe Biden when it comes to Palestine. Free them. As a matter of fact, before I finish, I'm going to say this again. I got better criticisms than any of these black conservatives could ever think of. I got better criticisms for the Democratic Party and for liberalism they can dream of. Let's get it back to this dude screaming because he think that whatever.
You don't fucking read. You take your talking points from your paid masters. And the last thing, you said we aligning ourselves with people that align themselves with the Ku Klux Klan. No, fool! It's in writing, in an amendment. It said Democratic Party Senator Robert Byrd from West Virginia, a known recruiter for the Ku Klux Klan. Now you show me some literature. Consciously.
Class is in session. Right now, I'm showing you a map of the Electoral College map from the 1860s, showing you that before the Civil War, the South was blue Dixiecrats and that the North was red Republicans. This is going to be very important because I want to acknowledge that my slave masters, the descendants of my slave masters here in Texas, they didn't get up and move to the red states. You feel me? They switch sides. You feel me? When you look at the 2024 Electoral College and you see that it is not ironic that the Southern states still align themselves with the same ideology of their people that came before them. It's not ironic that the Northern states is still in line with the individuals that opposed them in the 1860s. So now we got this map right here. You see me? What we know is that in 2024, Republicans have resolved to eviscerate the Voting Rights Act, which is what the paper that he had, that he's talking about, I don't read this, that, and the other. That paper is specifying the 1964 Civil Rights Act. When you read the 1964 Civil Rights Act, you're going to see that it's specifically talking about voter registration. In 2024, Republicans are trying to eviscerate voting rights and the ability for Black people to access the polls. As a matter of fact, when we keep on going for more, we're going to get into this white dude by the name of Barry Goldwater. Barry Goldwater was the individual that literally introduced this idea of the Southern strategy. Now, for y'all that don't know in the back, in the 1960s, Richard Nixon was struggling with trying to get support down south. You feel me? And as a result, this white man by the name of Barry Goldwater cooked up the Southern strategy that was literally built for him to dump and read exactly, because right there, I know you can't really read what it says right there, but it says, the GOP Southern strategy initiated the realignment of the South with the Republican Party by exploiting white racial anxiety about social changes to the Southern racial hierarchy. So when we start talking about how the Democrats started the Democrats started the Ku Klux Klan, in today's time, who does the Ku Klux Klan endorse? If I went to a Democratic rally or I went to a Republican rally, where am I more likely to see a Ku Klux Klan member? This is what I mean by people being intellectually dishonest. There was nothing in my video that I said was incorrect, and nothing I said in my video that was false. I do know that in today's time, if you say you care about the Black experience, you feel me, and you love chastising Black folks and you know what? Black Republicans love chastising Black folks for being like, well, you hang around criminals and thugs, it's mean you're a criminal and a thug because you are what you hang around. They hang around literal Confederate flag toting white supremacists while trying to chastise Black people for hanging around criminals and thugs. Meanwhile, they are literally trying to vote for a criminal right now. You feel me? So again, when I make the statement and say, hey, listen, man, you are aligning yourself politically with individuals that want to keep your Black ass on the plantation, that is a true statement. It's not false. We see right here, all this right here, the first thing I read, it came from a purely scholar article, a purely scholar journal. The chapter is called The Introduction of the Long Southern Strategy. If you don't believe what I'm saying, please fact check me. As a matter of fact, I want you to fact check me. You feel me? It ain't got to be this old conservative clout chasing that sucker either. It can be any one of y'all. Research over me search. This right here, it says, while there is no question that Nixon coveted the votes of conservative Southerners, he was hardly the first Republican to do so. The eventual migration of Southern Democrats into the GOP had more to do with the deep economic, demographic, and political forces that have been in operation for decades. So when you ask yourself, hey, man, in the 1860s, you had all these Dixiecrats that was mad, that identified as Democrat because they felt like the North was trying to take away a Southern lifestyle. When you go to a Democratic convention these days, or you go to a Democratic rally these days, you probably ain't gonna see no Confederate flags. And you probably not gonna see no individuals that's, you know what I'm saying, KKK. You feel me? And to be clear, I believe in the political, social, economic independence of Black people. And I believe that both the left and the right have no desire to give Black people this determination. As a matter of fact, I believe that if you only have the ability to talk about the Black experience through this bipartisan lens, you ain't read enough. You don't know enough. You cannot infuse the Black experience through this left versus right paradigm. And that's the reason why I know a lot of Black conservatives don't know what to do with me. Because you can't use none of those bullshit speaking points you got from Fox News. And I was about to say in the comment section, Trump, consciously, please don't be cussing. I'm a cussing ass educator. You see what I'm saying? I'm an educator that loves to be passionate in a way where I speak from the vernacular of my nurturer. The vernacular of my nurturer is happen to be some cussing ass people. So if you can't understand the facts that's being said outside of the profanity, I might not be the person for you. And that's fine. Education is elevation regardless, and research for me search regardless. But let's keep these facts going, because we know a lot of these a lot of the black conservatives, they love to talk about oppression and say oppression doesn't exist except for a Democratic Party. They're going to say, we want to convince you to leave the Democratic plantation for you to come to the Republican plantation. This man just had the nerve to be like, you're going to say whatever your Democratic masses want you to say. I literally made a video on TikTok criticizing black Republicans. They obviously got sent. The white folks put a battery in their back and they said, hey, man, we got to get this Negro right here. He's saying things we don't agree with. Black friend, can you go set him right? That's obviously what y'all was on. The Republican Party in opposition to voting rights, kills, follows, decade to pretend support. What we know is that when it comes to policy, there are concerted efforts right now going on to not only discourage black folks from getting to the poll, but literally stop voter registration for black people. So when you are parading and you sensationalizing this piece of policy, the 1964 Civil Rights Act, what does it mean for you to talk about the Republicans as the party that's giving us everything we ever need? We got from the Republican Party. The Republican Party is currently trying to make it where your black ass can't even vote. What are you talking about? What are we talking about? What are we talking about? It's to me, it seemed like people be so lost in the sauce and bipartisanship politics that literally the left and the right be beating on their ass. Meanwhile, they black understanding for what's going on with black people be little to nothing. The party of Lincoln is now the party of Jim Crow. Who started Jim Crow? Democrats. Democrats started Jim Crow. What happened in the 1960s, the 1970s, after the Southern strategy was successfully deployed? Those Democrats that start the KKK, those Democrats that instilled Jim Crow, they switched sides to being a Republican. Don't go by my words. You feel me? Fact check me, because you know a pair of lips can say anything. A pair of lips can say anything. This right here says, like their colleagues in the Senate, House Republicans sought to block the restoration of extension of the vital sections of the Voting Rights Act of 1965, which were weakened by rulings from the United States Supreme Court dominated by a right-wing judicial activist. I'll read that again. The Voting Rights Act of 1965, this is the one that came right after the Voting Rights of 1964. It shows you how the Republicans that's live today are currently trying to overturn black people, the rights that we got from these civil rights acts. That's and I want to just before I even go, I'm gonna go a little bit more, and then I'm gonna show y'all the full original video. The Ku Klux Klan newspaper declares Trump support. David Duke, one of the famous grand wizards of our time of the Ku Klux Klan, is a Donald Trump supporter. Once upon a time, of course, and for decades thereafter, the Klan was deeply linked with the Southern wing of the Democratic Party, the Dixiecrats, as they were known, but began to switch to the GOP as presidential candidate Barry Goldwater and then President Richard Nixon. This is his infamous Southern strategy. And Ronald Reagan exploited white feelings of resentment towards civil rights movement and the National Democratic Party support for racial equality. So what we see is that today's Republicans were individuals that were persuaded by Barry Goldwater, Richard Nixon, and Ronald Reagan to buy more into their resentment for racial progression of black people, to buy more into their surface ideas of family values, for them to literally buy into the resentment that black people were coming up in order for them to appeal to being Republicans. That's what we're talking about right now. Research over me search. We know that some people are allergic to research. I would argue that Republicans, especially black Republicans, they're allergic to facts. You feel me? Here go another one right here. In a research paper published by American Sociological Review, David Cunningham, Justice Sparrow, and Rory McVeigh, they argue that the Klan played a small but meaningful role in the transition of the Democratic South from blue to red. Let's read that sentence again. Let's read that sentence again. Hey, This video was made specifically to not only for the conservative clout chasers that love to try to use my name, image, and likeness for other white Republicans to eat their black words up. This is also dedicated to the real ones that is tired of hearing these bullshit arguments, and you need to have a rebuttal. You need, and you're looking for knowledge to be able to show them about what they saying is wrong. You can refer to this video. This is about the history of how the Southern strategy turned Southern Dixiecrats into modern day Republicans that are aligned with Confederate flag toting KKK members. You feel me? I'm talking about. Hey, this right here what it's saying. The part that don't have underlined. It should be noted that from 1889 to 1892, David Duke, the grand wizard of white supremacy of KKK, even served as a Republican in the Louisiana state legislature. Like most white Southerners then, he had been a registered Democrat until the late 1980s. He joined the regional shift to the GOP. Do you read consciously? You don't read. You don't. I don't like. I'm a type of dude. I don't even like talking about the degrees. You feel me? Because I think that my intellect speaks for itself. But this time, damn it, I work hard for a degree. Let's talk about the degrees. What does it sound like to tell an individual with 3 degrees that they don't read? What does it look like to tell an individual that is a former high school English teacher and a literal argumentation professor at a university they don't read? While you're giving us ahistorical claims about the KKK in modern day times being aligned with the Democrats. What are we talking about? What are we doing, man? Just keep it going. Just keep it going. You feel me? I know that people like reading materials, and my grandfather always say, shout out to you, Sosa man. Shout out to you, Sosa man. Oh, y'all read that comment too. The 80s were an awful time for black people. Reagan was destroying us. Hey, black Republicans think a lot like they white surrogate masters, and they believe that Ronald Reagan was the greatest president ever happened. As a matter of fact, a lot of black Republicans do a lot of projection because they'll say you only listen to the Democrats and that you a master of Democrats, you a slave of Democrats. Whole time they are literally shucking and jiving like, oh my God. But here's a source right here. It is called the political polarization as a social movement outcome. The 1960s Klan activism and its enduring impact on the political realignment of Southern counties. I know that some people don't know what an abstract is, you feel me? But an abstract is nothing but a summary of what the thing is about, right? And I say, hold on, boss, I can't. Well, I thought I had this. If you read the abstract to what I just showed y'all, it's going to tell you, even just reading the abstract right there, it's going to tell you more about how the Republican Party pandered to white working class Southern racists in order to get their vote. And it literally used the word pander. I'm showing y'all again. This is a map of the Electoral College in 1860, where you see the South is structured by Democratic Dixiecrat thinking. The North being structured by Republicans. In today's time, after the 1960s and Barry Goldwater instilled his Southern strategy, it literally forced all of the Democrats that was of the South to move and go Republican. Because a lot of those Republicans of North didn't want to deal with them Southern Dixiecrats, they switched over to being Republican. The American two-party system is a lot like musical chairs, man. Depending on when the music stops, that depends on whose ass is sitting in the progressive space and whose ass is sitting in the conservative traditional space. We see that in the 1960s, you feel me? If that music stopped, a lot of Southern white KKK, Confederate flag toting people, they would be Dixiecrats, Democrats. You feel me? We see that you go 15 years, they literally realign themselves like they Grandmaster Reagan David Duke did in the 1980s. Where you literally see, oh, damn, this was the party of my grandmama and them, my granddaddy and them. We couldn't stand those niggers. Oh, we switching sides now? We going over to that? Okay, I'm Republican now. The Republican Party, you feel me, is the party that fought against the Confederacy. Remember that. Remember that. You know that the funniest part of this guy, that they want Project 25 to be here, and that's going to send us back a lot, and that's going to be messing up to Donald Trump and saying that he's going to overturn the police and all these dumb laws. Hey man, just you know, hey, shout out to you, Kareem. Shout out to you, Deshaun. I'm gonna say it again. You know what the funniest part is? Funniest part is, my guy, is they want Project 2025 to be here. Hey, Buddy was mad because I knew about Project 2025, but he felt like I was being disingenuous when I was talking about your black ass aligning with KKK people right now. You know, and it's just like, historically speaking, the Republican Party fought against the Confederacy. You don't find it preposterous. You don't find it suspicious even that when you go to a Trump rally, the Republican Party, the party of Lincoln, the Republican Party, the party of Lincoln, the man that literally fought against the Confederacy, now going to a Republican rally and you see Confederate flags. What does it mean to talk about? Well, consciously, you ain't being real. You don't read. The Democrats started the KKK. Yes, and the Republicans stole them. Yes, and the Republicans stole them. This is a KKK flag. I mean, a Confederate flag. You feel me? And be clear, they don't say that ain't the real Confederate flag. That ain't the battle flag. Listen, man. In the 1960s, when a lot of those Southern Dixiecrats was mad about civil rights acts happening, a lot of them literally reconfigured this flag right here, the Confederate flag, that Confederate flag right there that we see, it didn't become a symbol of the Confederacy until the 1960s, when them white folks was mad at black people getting political power. You see what I'm saying? And now this same flag that started off as a symbol of the Dixiecrats is now a symbol that you will see frequently flown with Trump flags, with American flags. They say in America, one of the greatest crimes you can make against America is treason. And it's one of the only crimes you can commit in this country that automatically makes it, the punishment is death. They fly treasonous Confederate flags in today's Republican Party while trying to talk about a Democratic plantation. You are literally cozying up the people that want to keep me on the plantation talking about a Democratic plantation. And to be clear, I'm born and raised in Texas. I didn't like Rick Perry. I didn't like Governor Greg Abbott, but I knew that whatever policies and legislation they passed, my black ass had to abide by them. You feel me? Regardless of how you feel about politics or politicians, when they pass legislation, you have to abide by them. That's for my people on the left. You feel me? That's mad because I'm still being critical about Kamala Harris and about how she's saying one thing while allowing for one thing to go on. You feel me? I'm gonna say that for the video, maybe this video. If I let's keep it going by staying on topic though, goddamn, because we know the topic is something that Republicans suck at doing. Whether we're talking about the black Republicans, the white Republicans, the native Republicans, the gay Republicans, the trans Republicans, all of them suck at staying on topic, and they damn sure suck at sticking with facts. You feel me? That's what I know too. Again, I'm popping my shit today, man. Listen, I believe most of you Republicans, regardless of what race you is, what gender you is, y'all don't know how to debate. Y'all know how to repeat speaking points. Repeating a speaking point and making an argument are two different things. Making an argument, it requires argument development. It requires giving a claim to a warrant. It requires being able to give some impacts. Y'all are good at repeating shit you heard on Fox News or some shit you heard from your favorite TikTok, YouTube person that love to talk about red pill, blue pill. Donald Trump is good for the economy. How is Donald Trump so good for the economy, but he didn't ran 6 businesses into the ground? Tell me how. Tell me how. In my hood, in my community, in my family, if an individual has shady business practices, you feel me, and they are literally running business to the ground, we're gonna call them a scammer, call them a crook, a con artist. But somehow, though, when Donald Trump do it, he's great for the economy. Shit don't even make the math don't even be mathing, man. This is literal. These are literal pictures of KKK members and Confederate flags in present day Trump rallies. Want to be clear with that? I'm now showing y'all videos of current KKK Confederate flag toting people that want to keep your black ass on a plantation. They currently align themselves with The Republicans. As a matter of fact, do y'all remember when was Charlottesville? When Donald Trump said it's fine people on both sides? Y'all remember that? Y'all remember that, right? Man, suckers get mad when you call them out. You feel me? They get mad when you call them out. They don't never want to be called out. You know what I'm saying? And here's some more shit right here. You feel me? Here's more text. You know what I'm saying? Because I like to read. You know what I'm saying? For those that don't know, this is my motto right here. You know what I'm saying? Research over me search. It's the motto. It said it should be noted. I already read that part right there. I already read that part. Let's see it. It should be noted that from 1989 to 1992, David Duke even served as Republican. Like most white Southerners then, he had been registered Democrat until the late 1980s, and he joined the regional shift GOP party. I got more of it underlined. That's why I heard I got underlined right here. Is the national party leaders did denounce Duke, but local Republicans were far more ambiguous in the dealings with him. He also ran for U.S. Senate as a Republican and for president in 1988. Black Republicans love to be like, y'all are victims and y'all love being stuck in the past. But then they will ignore how current times, the Confederate flag toting, the KKK Confederate flag toting supporters, they align with your party in today's time. I don't have to go back to the past, talk about reverse racism or systemic racism. Okay, I ain't gotta do that. I can talk about what's going on right now. Shout out to you, Sosa Man OTL. He says that they say Dems are racist. Which party today has senators saying black people were better under Jim Crow? Which party felt like hell to keep the Confederate flag statues up? Which party fought the hell like they did? Which party does the KKK vote for right now? The individuals that love to tell you stuck in the past, you can only be a victim. The only way we can move forward is by being here is the same individuals that want to live by 1960 doctrines about the Ku Klux Klan. When even the Ku Klux Klan has denounced their support of the Republican of the Democratic Party. That's how I know a lot of them be capped. You feel me? A lot of these black Republicans, they be capping and they be literally trying to buy into anti-black dispositions and being a white supremacist sympathizer at the expense of the collective because individually they can come up with some gains. You know what I'm saying? They feel like, well, I can do this, I can do that. Right here. Hey, y'all, I hope you have a great day too, man. I appreciate you tremendously. Education is elevation. We got a little bit more, and then I'm out of here. You feel me? We got just a little bit more, and I'm out of here. I wanted to make sure that I showed the entirety of the video that I'm talking about. Listen, y'all, if y'all type this video in on TikTok, you're gonna see buku amount. I'm talking about buku's amount. You feel me? It's a word I learned from my New Orleans folks. Buku amounts of like people being mad. Make sure y'all can see it. Y'all can see it. I'm finna play the original video that got all them mad. If you look like me and you can side with the party that literally aligns themselves with the KKK because check notes, you believe they're good with the economy, you got a stimulus check, this means you are in fact a sellout and you willing to sell out the collective of your people in your community for the individual political gain or financial gain of yourself. Because if you believe that siding with the literal Confederate flag, Ku Klux Klanners in the name of the economy, it showed me that you think just like the massa. Exactly like them. If you look like me and you can side with the party that literally aligns themselves with the KKK because check notes, that's the video that got them upset and mad. That's the video that got them upset and mad. The same individuals that's gonna talk about consciously, he do whatever Democrats tell him to do, this, that, and the other. It's like, listen, man. Right now, I have my Kufi bucket hat on. Right now, me and the Democratic Party are uniquely beefing based off of how they are using American tax dollars to make it what my mama can't afford, which need to afford, eat, sleep for dinner. Well, y'all align for the apartheid state to use American tax dollars to literally bomb people in Gaza and bomb people in the West Bank. You feel me? So I don't want to hear nothing about, nah, man, I got better criticisms against the Democrats than you can ever dream about. As a matter of fact, I remember correctly, I had an amazing analysis on how Barack Obama is a war criminal and about how the Democratic Party got a lot of black people to buy into identity politics during this time, though we didn't get what we wanted. I believe in the political, social, economic independence of black people. I don't believe in Democratic doctrines. I don't believe in Republican doctrines. I think that all of them are structured by anti-blackness, and all of them would love to benefit on killing or locking up black people. That's what I do. I just think that when it comes to taking care of my community, my family, my mama, my daddy, and them, or even protesting what's going on with this right here, I'm more likely to be able to be listened to and more likely to be able to get what I need from the Democrats than I am the Republicans. But to be clear, I think both of them full of shit you flush down toilets. I just think Republican shit smells a lot worse. And to be clear, I'm born and raised in a city, in a state that is ran by Republicans. Shout out to everybody in Bryan College Station, Texas. So I don't want to hear shit about y'all horrible Fox News speaking points about how you think I'm liberal or this, that don't make no sense at all. You feel me? It don't make no sense at all. It makes zero sense. And while I'm on the subject right now, I made a video specifically being critical about how Kamala Harris responded to those protesters. And I had a lot of black people that told me I should mind my black ass domestic business. That's what y'all said. Y'all said, I can't care about what's going on with Palestinians if they trying to restrict my sister from doing X, Y, and Z. That's what y'all said. Hey, right now as we speak, Cori Bush of Missouri just lost a state level election because she decided to use her black ass voice and black ass platform to speak out against the G-side that's happening to Palestinian people. AIPAC spent over $4 million to unseat this black woman in her home state. But y'all gonna tell me caring about what the Israelis is doing, it ain't got nothing to do with us. What y'all gonna tell me? Hey, New York City, it's a city that got a lot of black folks in it, man. Bowman, he's somebody else that also got unseated by AIPAC money. In America, we talk a lot of shit about getting that student loan debt forgiveness. White student loans. Hey, our government gives our taxpayers dollars to a country where they can give their citizens free education. But you and I got to fight about trying to get $50,000, $10,000, you know what I'm saying, approved on our shit. What? Right now, we are currently arguing and fighting about affordable care, health care, how much insulin costs. Israel giving their people free healthcare. Tell me again, caring about Palestinian kids being blown up. It's an international issue, it ain't domestic. If you got to choose between paying the light bill or feeding yourself, goddamn, I don't see how you think that sending billions of dollars annually to an apartheid state that's literally structured around religion. You know, our country's supposed to be freedom of church state. That's how you saying that? How you saying that? What we know is that there is a long history of American police, American law enforcement, sending their law enforcement over to Israel to train them because they perfected how to whoop ass on Palestinians, and they're going to deploy that on black folks. Tell me again that caring about what Israel is doing to Palestinians is an international issue. Tell me again, because I don't think you understand how politics work then. Because what I know is that there's a trade-off, right? If you telling me you don't have enough money to give me what I need, but you got unlimited buku's amount of money for them, how they don't trade off of what I'm doing? Right now, what we know is that Republicans decided they were going to oppose student loan forgiveness because they understood that black people were disproportionately taking student loans. We know that currently speaking, black people in America, we bear the brunt of school student loans. Israel give that people free school. So black people who are disproportionately impacted by student loans, who also, you feel me, are disproportionately impacted by healthcare, we shouldn't care about how our tax dollars is being spent for them people over there. Meanwhile, we eating sleep for dinner. So now it's like, well, Conscious, you can't get, black women are always spoken out over against, and they always, you know what I'm saying, this, that, and the other. So when those protesters spoke over Kamala, that meant that you gotta unpack it. To me, it's like, okay, so what this means is that Cori Bush, the black woman that dialectically opposes what Israel was doing, what does this mean for this black woman? And also, when it comes to black women being public servants, are we not able to protest with them? I thought the difference between a Republican and the difference between a Democrat is the ability to at least be able to hold some responsibility and accountability. Somehow in this election, a lot of Democrats and leftists and liberals believe that if you're voting for Kamala Harris, this means you shouldn't have no criticism for Kamala Harris. You sound like Republicans. You sound like Republicans that believe in the way, the truth, the light of Donald Trump and believe he can't do no wrong. If he did do wrong, I don't criticize him publicly. That's not how politics operate. You feel me? That's not how I get down. I think right is right and wrong is wrong. I don't give a damn who doing it. And for me, it's like, well, G side, supporting genocide over your own Americans, of your own citizens, that's bad. That's bad. That's bad. You feel me? As a matter of fact, the same AIPAC that spent all this money to make sure Bowman and make sure Bush lost is the same AIPAC that's giving Kamala Harris about $5 million. We are in deficit, yet we can afford supporting G-side Republicans are now the fascist party of full stop. Hey, this is something I read too. You know what I'm saying? Put my research of me search back hat on. You feel me? I know a lot of bullshit ass family members, a lot of bullshit ass friends that's really choosing their individual, you feel me, potential of being good over the collective, and they believe that Donald Trump is good at the economy. Hey, Donald Trump was able to single-handedly take the national debt ceiling 25% more than what it is now. Matter of fact, I made a video. I might go find the video real fast. But that's what we know. We know that for the fact for us, man. Donald Trump came in office. Our national debt ceiling was like boom, boom, boom. By the time he left, it was like wham, wham, wham. And it was like, damn, bro, you're supposed to be the financial guru. How you a financial guru and you are significantly increasing the amount of debt that we, you feel me? And just so I ain't repeating myself at all, let me just show you real fast, because we know sometimes showing people is better. All my dumbass friends and family members that genuinely believe Trump is so good with the economy, this video is for you. Donald Trump promised to eliminate national debt because you believe he is such an economic guru. It was $23 trillion when he entered office. It was 30.9 trillion when he left. He was only in office for 4 years. Put this in perspective, context matters. 25% of the entire debt in the history of America was run up by Donald Trump. It was the GOP-led Congress in cahoots. Fact checking. Donald Trump has filed bankruptcy 6 times. Not him personally, but his businesses. But he's so good with business though, right? Research over me search. Donald Trump posted a $175 million bond to avert asset seizure as he tried to appeal a New York fraud penalty. And speaking of New York City, or New York the state actually, Donald Trump is so bad in business, he can't run a business in New York City for at least 3 years. And he was ordered to pay the state $355 million because of his fraudulent ways in business. Anybody else we know, whether they're in the community or the family, if we know they got shady business practices or bad business practices, we say they're a con artist. We say they're a crook. We say they're a scammer. But when it's Donald Trump, he's good with the economy. Education is elevation, man. Guys, in conclusion, there's going to be a lot of misinformation going around during this election season. There's going to be a lot of persuasive things you're going to hear that's going to pick on your different emotions. I encourage everybody to always do the research over me search. As a matter of fact, I'm a skeptic. You feel me? I'm skeptical of every goddamn thing. You feel me? As a matter of fact, nothing is absolute and everything is skeptical, even the statement itself. With that being said, don't believe me. And don't believe the memes, and don't believe what they saying on MSNBC. Don't believe what they saying on CNN or Fox News. Do your own fact checking. The same way you're able to view this video from the same device, you're able to go to a database and look up the facts. That's what look up the facts. That's what we had to do. You feel me? That's what we, you know what I'm saying? We look up the facts. You know what I'm saying? Because we know that a lot of Republicans, they don't want to hear no facts. And I know too, a lot of Zionist Democrats don't want to hear facts as well. In conclusion, you feel me? Oh, we got another one. Trump's permanent corporate tax cut 35% to 21% is not talked about enough. Oh, actually, that's a lie real fast, real fast, man. There are a lot of people that's going to be like, man, I don't know, man. From 2016 to 2020, Trump was putting money in the streets. They had the PPP. We had the stimulus check. Hey, man, there are a lot of us that make less than $100,000 that pay significantly more taxes than before Trump was in office. There are also a lot of rich millionaires and billionaires that pay significantly less taxes since Trump was in office. Keep that in mind. Keep that in mind when we start talking about some shit. You feel me? When we start talking about the stimulus checks, and it was during COVID. When you go to history class, when you go to government and civics in Texas in 12th grade, you have to take those classes. In those classes, they teach you concepts that deal with the American government. Two of those concepts are checks and balances and separation of power. When it comes to the stimulus checks, the executive branch did not give you those. The executive branch does not have the power to give you those. The reason why individuals like PJ and individuals that he support want to keep you dumb and stupid and want to ban books, because they don't want you to know how policy works. They don't want you to understand history or the policymaking process, because they want you to be able to give Donald Trump different types of shit that he shouldn't be given credit for, like giving you a stimulus check. Especially if we can acknowledge that shit. If he wasn't in office, instead of you getting that $1,200, you probably got $2,500. Especially when we can acknowledge that this man was only in office for 4 years and he increased the national debt ceiling by 25%. We didn't have 45 presidents. He was 45, right? 46. What number was he? We didn't have over 40 presidents, and this single president increased the national debt by 25%, and y'all say he good with the economy. Republicans literally ended child tax credits and stimulus checks at the same time, trying to weaponize the general welfare of children against the LGBT community. At the same time, they're literally abusing kids in the Republican Party. Hey, in Tennessee, the Republicans was literally trying to pass a bill to make sure they keep underage marriage legal. Feel me? You got literal Southern states that will fight for their right to be able to marry little ass girls off of grown ass men, at the same time trying to weaponize pedophilia against the LGBT community. Whole time they the real pedophiles. The whole time they don't care about kids. In my home state right now of Texas, Governor Greg Abbott literally outlawed children from getting free food during the summertime. But he care about the kids though. He care about the kids though. We're gonna pass all these bills that's really attacking trans children. We're gonna say it protects all children, but then when it comes time for you to feed kids, you're gonna say no. In the state of Louisiana, same thing. In the state of Louisiana, you got a governor that will claim they want to do everything in the name of saving kids, but then you will literally outlaw or literally go against policy to give children food. As a matter of fact, that vice president pick, J.D. Vance, y'all know I'm a Black Panther Party guy. You feel me? You know, Huey P. Newton, the co-founder of the Black Panther Party, they had instilled the free children's breakfast program. And the director of the FBI, J. Edgar Hoover, said that because what they was doing with the kids, he literally said that the Black Panther Party was the biggest threat to domestic security. J.D. Vance in Minnesota, he gave the kids free lunch. In Minnesota, regardless of what type of money you make, whether you are rich or you are poor, your kid gonna eat. Your kid is guaranteed to eat. In these Republican states that love to talk about we gotta protect the children and all that shit, they will literally outlaw kids getting food. They will outlaw kids getting gender-affirming care. Meanwhile, J.D. Vance walking around with eyeliner and shit. Donald Trump got a face full of makeup, but drag queens wear eyeliner and makeup. Oh, it's bad. But Donald Trump can hide how old he is with makeup, and it's cool. J.D. Vance can put on all the eyeliner he wants to. It's not seen as gender-affirming care. But hey, let somebody come read to your kids with eyeliner. All of a sudden, you're gonna be, you feel me? I'm gonna say Tim Walz. My bad, Tim Walz. Feel me? Tim Walz. You feel me? But it's like right here. This is why I'm illustrating. It's called conservative contradictions, and how a lot of things that conservatives project is really them projecting. Conservative contradictions. A lot of shit they say they against, they actually, you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna say Tim Walz. Tim Walz gave freedom. I want to be quick myself. I'm talking too fast. Tim Walz gave free lunch. J.D. Vance fucked couches. Tim Walz gave gender affirming care and for all, you know what I'm saying, people to be able to go over their body. J.D. Vance was jacking off dolphins, allegedly. Want to be clear, you know what I'm saying? Tim Walz, the Minnesota governor, he the one that gave free lunch. And J.D. Vance and his people, they the ones trying to make sure kids don't get free lunch because they want to privatize it. They want to give school vouchers and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? Thank y'all for calling me out on that too. Definitely. I want to make sure I ain't saying no misinformation, misspoke. It is Tim Walz that's giving the free education. It is Tim Walz that's allowing for people to be able to determine what their body is. It is Tim Walz that's giving gender-free care. It is Tim Walz that was a former teacher, you feel me, that goddamn, what did he do? He had a student that came out as gay, and he was the football coach at his school. He understood the value in being the football coach and being the staff member that approves of this straight alliance organization. You feel me? Those politics parts I can get down with. What I can't get down with is him talking about how, you feel me, Israel has the right to defend itself, but Palestine doesn't. I don't like that shit. You feel me? But he was one of the first politicians to call for, you feel me, a ceasefire. And he was one of the first politicians to talk about how, regardless of what you think, how much Israel has the right to defend themselves, everyday Palestinians should not be caught up in that shit. He did say that, though. You feel me? But like a lot of Democrats, they align themselves with the imperialism of the the imperialism of the American government. Whether we have a president that's Republican or a president that's Democrat, they all believe in the expansion of America. They all believe in American imperialism. They all believe in murdering people across the globe in order to better American corporations. You feel me? For individuals that care a lot about international politics and a lot about how, you know, American tax dollars are being spent abroad, I don't knock you at all. Feel me? And I'm with you. You feel me? I'm with you. You know? Hey, this is best say this right here. Not only did Reagan end free college because he hated education, Ronald Reagan had an issue with what the current things going on right now in 2024. You have a lot of everyday Americans being much more concerned with how our taxpayers' tax dollars are being spent, and also being much more concerned with how our government acts on our behalf internationally. Ronald Reagan and his team felt that motherfuckers going to college gave them too much information. Therefore, he literally increased the exclusive nature of higher education because he felt like if we're gonna have an educated proletariat, is what he called it. He was going against an educated proletariat. Proletariat, fancy word for working class. Shout out to all my Marxists out there. You know what I'm saying? All my socialists, all my Marxists and shit like that. You feel me? That's what he said. Ronald Reagan and his administration was worried about having an educated working class that was more vigilant on what the government was doing. Therefore, he de-incentivized people going to college and made it harder for us to access it. It's the same reason right now that when we start thinking about how progression happened for Black people since the affirmative action got passed, we know that Black people having more access to higher education, it literally increased the political, economic, and a social reality of Black people. It's a reason why a Republican majority Supreme Court overturned affirmative action, because they do not want to empower Black people thinking critically about the law. They do not want Black people being able to take it. And to be clear, when you come at me, make sure you have a good criticism, and it's not just some knee-jerk reaction because you assume I'm a Democrat or because you assume I'm a liberal. I'm an individual that believes in the independence, politically, socially, economic of Black people, and I don't think that either the left or the right is trying to do that. I will align myself politically in being able to understand how I can mitigate the impacts of white supremacy and anti-Blackness today. Right now. Today. Right now. They're concerned that the educated, that the educated are the Democrats. That's like, listen, not only is they concerned with that, because I'm born and raised in a red state, in a red city, everything they taught me about fascism, everything they taught me about authoritarianism, everything they taught me about dictatorships is everything the Republican Party is doing right now. When Mr. Cry made rest in peace, you feel me? Old white dude that was one of my first teachers that I really liked in history. You feel me? Mr. Cry, right? Mr. Cry was telling me about how the dictatorship of Hitler, they knew it was bad when he started banning books. And we know that, you know what I'm saying, genocides, or you feel me, cultural colonization, it happens first on the level of academics and thought. These Republicans are banning books. They're banning books because they don't like them. Those books are the books that's going to tell Black people how the law is codified by race and racism. As a matter of fact, from now on, every summer, when we celebrate the federal holiday of Juneteenth, we should also acknowledge there are teachers in states that can go to jail for teaching the historical lesson of Juneteenth because it can be seen as critical race theory. It can be seen as talking about privilege. It can be seen as making white kids feel bad. Hey, never mind how those Black kids feel when you telling them that their ancestors benefited from slavery because they ain't know shit before. Never mind about how those Native kids feel when you start celebrating colonialism and settlerism. Never mind them. But the potentiality for white kids to feel uncomfortable or discomfort, we get policies and laws for that shit. But you Black folks, you Natives, you Palestinians, y'all deal with that shit. That sounds like personal problems. Get over y'all being anti-American. These are the people that Black Republicans align themselves with. The same Black Republicans that are talk shit about, man, Black people, they be hanging around criminals and thugs, and they guilty by association, and you are what you hang around. You know what I'm saying? Association brings about assimilation. You know what that means? That's some zero lines right there, ain't you know what I'm saying? But what they say, these are the same people that align themselves with Confederate flag toting, KKK supporting racists. So when I'm in the hood and I'm around my family members, I'm purposely, you know what I'm saying, only can identify my community as being thugs and criminals. But you go to a KKK rally, I'm bad, a Republican rally full of KKK members, and you don't see no issue with that. As a matter of fact, I'm almost convinced that most Black Republicans, when they go to those rallies and shit like that, they make sure they keep their hat on. This they signal right here. This is the gaslighting, the virtue signal right here. I'm not like the other Blacks. I'm a Black that wears a red hat and believes in MAGA. Notice my hat does not say make America great again. It says research over me search. And I know that Republicans are allergic to that shit. I know they're allergic to that shit. You feel me? Here in Humble, here in Humble, Texas, Humble ISC, they started free breakfast. Still have to pay for lunches though. We need free breakfast program. You feel me? We need free breakfast program. We need free lunches as well. If we're able to give billions of dollars to Israel, we should be able to give millions of dollars to our own children here in this country. And typically you hear the argument is that we don't have the budget, we don't have the money to feed the children, but we have enough money to bomb Palestinian children and women and churches and schools. Just in conclusion, again, I want to say this again in conclusion. When I make my videos being critical of Kamala Harris and y'all talking about we got to care about America first, you should have that energy with those politicians like Kamala. Care about America first. Joe Biden, care about America first. Donald Trump, care about America first. How do you have your own constituents in your state and your base happen to decide between buying medication or paying the light bill? But you giving annual billions of dollars to a state to terrorize children and women under the guise of Hamas. This is how I know a lot of these folks be playing with me. You know, sadly, school about to start again, right? Sadly, right? And I say sadly because in America, school shootings are so, you feel me, thematic of America that it's like it's expected, right? It would be preposterous if the national response to a school shooter would to be blow up the entire school because we know a school shooter is there. Imagine that. The Uvalde school shooting is going on. We know there is a dangerous terrorist inside the school, and it justifies bombing the entire school because we know there is a school shooter there. You know that's unfathomable. That's unethical. That's not smart. But somehow Israel can justify blowing up an entire school, entire hospital, because Hamas was there. APAC, what it stand for? American Israel Political Account Committee. That committee acts on the behalf of the apartheid state. When y'all asking, consciously, can you run for shit? Consciously, why you ain't voting for office? Waste my time when a foreign entity like APAC can literally ain't gotta know shit that's going on in my state or my city. They can be like, well, this consciously guy, he got a couple million followers. He's being too critical of how my country is killing people. I don't like him. Even though we have a KKK politician that's going against him, we're gonna give that KKK politician $20 million to make sure this black ass guy does not get into office. What's happened to Cori Bush? Think about it. The black people of Missouri had their state election impacted by Israel, literally, because their state elected official was critical on what was happening with their tax dollars. But you're going to tell me that you can't give a damn about what's going on in Palestine because you care about so much about Americans. But the same politicians that you're saying you're going to this, that, and the other folk, they going to send $10 billion over there without thinking about it, but they're going to negotiate giving you $10,000 on a refund check. Feel me? They're gonna negotiate about the budget when it comes to healthcare. But hey, man, the country that gives their citizen healthcare needs some bombs to blow up some children. Man, we're gonna come with that shit out there. But tell me again how caring about Palestine and caring about this international war is not had nothing to do with domestic shit. The state can literally impact local elections. The state, as in the state of Israel, the government of Israel. It's not a domestic issue. There are individuals that have never, ever, ever been to Israel or Palestine or Gaza or West Bank in their lives, but they are domestically being impacted politically, socially, economically because of what they said about a foreign entity tearing up and genocide another foreign entity. But you're telling me it's not domestic. So if you lose your domestic ass job because you said something about international politics, how is this not now a domestic issue? I know buku's amount of black people uniquely that has lost a domestic job and or status because they decided to use the American right of freedom of speech and protest. Now they're being impacted. Yeah, Mr. Jones. Yeah, I was talking about Walz. I was talking about Tim Walz. I was not talking about, you know what I'm saying, JD Vance. We know JD Vance is the vice president pick. That's a couch sectional. You feel me? A couch sexual. You feel? We know he allegedly got a thing for dolphins. We know that Tim Walz, on the other hand, you feel me? He got a proclivity towards giving students free breakfast. He got a proclivity of giving gender affirming care. He got a proclivity of, hey, when Dante Wright was murdered by law enforcement, Tim Walz went and talked to Dante Wright's family. You know what I'm saying? As a matter of fact, in every state, when we start talking about how law enforcement typically gets away with killing black people, the reason why, you feel me, Derek Chauvin didn't get away is because Governor Tim Walz appointed the state attorney general instead of a local prosecutor to be able to take their case on. A lot of times, the reason why law enforcement is not, quote unquote, held accountable for killing unarmed black people is because they're being prosecuted by the same prosecution they've been kicking it with for you know what I'm saying, the whole time. You know, don't get me wrong. Tim Walz did deploy the National Guard. He did deploy militarized police on niggas for trying to say X, Y, and Z. You know what I'm saying? He did do that too. And too, what's also important is that in 2020, Donald Trump actually applauded Tim Walz for his response to the George Floyd protests. Feel me? Like, you know? And this right here, PJ. I think that you're in the wrong place. I don't think that I don't think that I'm the content creator for you, the influencer for you, the educator for you. You feel me? I think that Tim giving tampons is good. And I think that for a party that loves to bastardize trans women uniquely about how they can't bleed, quote unquote, it sounds, y'all, you are weird. You are, I'm talking about textbook weird, trying to make fun of this man giving tampons in school. This is what I mean by gender affirming care. This is what I mean by not being able to push stigmas onto children. You feel me? You know that there are little girls that experience menstrual cycles. A lot of y'all, I be full of shit, man. Be full of shit, man. Just, I know you can't help it. You know what I'm saying? You can't help it. You know, you're just full of shit. It ain't your fault. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is. What I do know is that now I'm just waiting a few minutes, waiting to see if any of them conservative clout chasers are gonna come over to this live so I can intellectually clap their ass, because so many of them love having a lot of bark but having no bite. A lot of them love being able to chomp at the bit, virtue signaling for those conservative clout chasers to try to get them from capital. But when it's time to get gangster, they never show up. Never show up. Now I'm just gonna stay live for a few more minutes to see if the person that think he's smart ace gonna pop up, or in matter of fact, let me give y'all one more. Let me give y'all. No, I'm gonna save it. I'm gonna say that one. I'm gonna say that one. I'm gonna read some of these comments, man. Hey, Mr. Jones, illegal immigration is hurting blacks the most, and JD Vance wants to secure the border. That's what y'all. Hey, hypnotic Hollywood. You are full of that shit they flush down toilets. And what you typed right here, it is a literal Fox News speaking point. I'm born and raised in Texas. It's something that I know as a proud Texan is that the Republicans, the conservatives, they love immigrant labor more than anybody in this country. As a matter of fact, the reason why they love to use this rhetoric when it comes to immigration policy is because it keeps the stigma around undocumented citizens. You feel me? Republicans know that if immigration is not as scrutinized, not as criminalized, they lose labor. Not only labor, you see what I'm saying? They lose profits. Now let's get into this black job shit. The idea that illegal immigrants hurting blacks the most because, hey, listen, when the quote unquote illegal immigrants come in, are they stealing the jobs or somebody giving them the jobs? Come on, answer the question. Answer the question, Hypnotic. When illegal immigrants come over to America, are they stealing the jobs or somebody giving it to them? Which one is it? I know that there are a lot of Republican-minded builders, Republican-minded gas and oil people, and they love to use cheap, undocumented citizen labor. They love using that shit. Again, the question, are they stealing the jobs or somebody giving it to them? I think that when y'all make those statements about illegal immigrants, you have displaced anger. Your anger should not be at the employee that is taking a job that's being given to them. Your anger should be directed at the employer that incentivizes exploitation of immigrant labor at the expense of employing black people. That's what your shit should towards be. You feel me? It shouldn't be directed towards the Latina population or this population. It should be geared towards the individuals that love to profit off of and exploit and stretch thin immigrant labor. They ain't coming in being like, black person, give me that mop. Black person, give me your hammer. I'm gonna whoop your ass. No, they not doing that. They not saying, hey, give me all your construction equipment, or no, they ain't doing that. They ain't stealing it either. It's being given to them. It's being given to them. Nobody's stealing no jobs. It's being given to them. It's being given to them by the same exact people that spend money on lobbyists and bureaucracies and interest groups in order to push anti-immigrant sentiments, because they understand that if immigration is less scrutinized, it's going to impact their labor. But we also acknowledge too that a lot of us talk about how a lot of those quote unquote jobs that they take are jobs that everyday Americans don't want. We also know that the idea of saying that there is not like, so there's black jobs. But if I say black jobs, I'm being the victim. But if Donald Trump say black jobs, he's speaking the truth. Okay. If I say black folks don't have nothing to lose, black Republicans say I'm being the victim. But if Donald Trump said, then shit, he's telling the truth. If I say something about black businesses or black jobs, I'm engaging in surface level racism and this, that, and the other. But if Donald Trump says something about black jobs or black businesses, he's speaking the truth. This is another illustration of conservative contradictions, also contradicting how nobody's still in a job. It's been given to them. Slumlord bosses want to have slumlord-like practices and being able to extract labor, capital from labor, or profit from labor. You feel me? And what they do. And what they do. So, you know, next time you talk about jobs and shit, make sure that you direct it towards the individuals that's giving the jobs up, not the individuals taking what's being given to them. Feel me? I mean, actually, Jay Reed, people can, people can steal labor. I just think that this instance is not. I happen to have read a little bit of Marxism, you know what I'm saying? Read a little Marxist, Leninist type shit, you know what I'm saying? And capitalism, the capitalists uniquely, they are structured by being able to steal labor. As a matter of fact, when we're talking about the record high profits that we experienced in the pandemic, that was labor theft. You know what I'm saying? In a market that cannot raise minimum wage or not raise the value of labor, but all the products that's necessitated by labor increases, that is labor theft. Think about it. The federal minimum wage still like $7.50. It's been $7.50 since like 09. It's 2024. In 09, let's say this hat might have cost $10. In 2024, this hat might cost $30. The production cost is technically the same because you're paying the labor force. The labor force is still $7.50. Labor theft happens when corporations are able to experience and celebrate record high profits while not paying their workers. That's labor theft. Labor theft is not conservatives talking about Latinos stealing black jobs. That is not that. That is not that. That is a conservative contradiction. Because we follow that, it's like Donald Trump and all you white Republicans, y'all love bragging about how you are descendant of an Italian, German, you feel me, Yugoslavia, Italian. Those folks stole jobs. Your ancestors came to this country where they came through Ellis Island. They came and stole jobs. As a matter of fact, what we know is that there are a few abolitionists. They didn't give a damn about black people. They cared about black people having unfair advantages on getting jobs and felt that black people being enslaved gave them an unfair disadvantage to being able to be employed. That same ideology of the abolitionists could really be applied to what's going on right now in the status quo. But hey, man, keep on talking about how somebody stole the job. Like nobody, them folks did not steal your job. Donald Trump and his oil tycoon partners and his construction people, they gave those jobs away, man. They gave those jobs away. They gave them away. I'll be real with you, quantum hacker. I think that the FBA trolls, a lot of them be lost in the sauce. For y'all that don't know, FBA stands for Foundational Black American. Foundational. Since when has the foundation of America ever identified with black people? So to me, it's almost like FBA identifies more with the foundation of America than America identifies with them. So now you so lost in the sauce of American, you know what I'm saying, American exceptionalism, that now you think you a special black compared to the other blacks because you are a foundational black American. Hey, man, to the FBA people that's watching this shit right now, the difference between you and a Jamaican, the difference between you and a Haitian is a boat stop or auction block. The difference between a foundational black American and a black person born and raised in Costa Rica is a boat stop in an auction block. When you identify as a foundational Black American, what does that say about the foundation of imperialism to America? Do you agree with that? Are you with that? When you talk about being a foundational Black American, what does this mean for the anti-Black foundation of America? The political, social, economic foundation of America is structured by anti-Blackness. So all of a sudden now I'm finna go bang against other Black folks in diaspora because I'm proud to be an American. Missing with that shit. And on Twitter uniquely, a lot of you FBA people make my ass itch. You feel me? Somebody make my ass itch all the way. You feel me? And listen, I wipe my ass good. But something about the FBA logic and rhetoric just feel icky to me. You know what I'm saying? And to be clear, they'll say, oh, he a tether. He ain't from, listen, man. I'm born and raised in Bryan, College Station, Texas, the same exact city and county my folks was slaves in. So I don't want to hear none of your bullshit speaking points about a tether or about this or about, I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. As a matter of fact, it's not ironic that a lot of foundational Black Americans identify with the Republican Party. I don't find that ironic. I don't find that ironic at all. And to be clear, for any of the FBA people watching this, I'm a debater. We can set it up. We can set up a nice little stream. You can pick whether I speak first or last. You can pick how long the speeches is. Let's have some decorum. You feel me? Not just me yelling at you, you yelling at me, you people yelling over each other. We can kill that. I shut my mouth while that timer going off and you speaking, making your horrible arguments to defending the ideology of the FBA, and I will want you to be quiet while I'm giving my great criticisms of the FBA. We can do 2 or 3 speeches. Let the folks decide. I'm a debater. You feel me? I just happen to be a debater. And shit, you want to buck up in the street? Let's do it. Let's do it. I ain't scared. I'm really ready to debate. I'm ready to debate. You see the African American flag behind me? You feel me? I'm ready to debate. You know what I'm saying? What's ADOS? African descendants of slavery. You feel me? ADOS. You feel me? And be clear, it's some FBA ADOS folks I rock with, but most of them I don't. They politics not congruent. You know what I'm saying? As an American descendant of slaves, what I say is that I get the criticisms when we start talking about how non-descendants of American slaves in America start taking up a lot of resources that's supposed to be towards Black people. You can be critical of that without being xenophobic. You can be critical of that without thinking that you are the best Black because you're an American. You sound a lot like your white counterparts that believe in American exceptionalism and that believes that because you are Americano identity, this makes you better than somebody. Like, nah, this American exceptionalism. The FBA is a manifestation of American exceptionalism. If we talking about Pan-Africanism and we talking about the international unity of Black folks and you sitting there arguing about being an FBA, congratulations. White supremacy got you. White supremacy got you. It got you. We start talking about international relations. The reason why all of Europe and clicked up against Russia is because they practice kinship on an international level. Not this whole idea that you believe that Black Americans corner the market on being Black. Because last time I checked, Bob Marley, the Wailers, Peter Tosh, Rastafari, that was a Black religion, Black people. You feel me? Last time I checked, the Haitian Revolution was a Black revolution, Black people. You know what I'm saying? But hey, man, talk to the FBA. They'll start putting a whole bunch of inconsequential uniqueness on being Black American. You feel me? What would it say right here? ADOS and FBA are also acronyms in the autism education world. I didn't even know that. Learn something new. Shout out to you, folks. I ain't know that at all. ADOS, FBA are also acronyms in autism world. Hey, I ain't trying to push no ableism at all. I'm just being critical of ADOS and FBA, especially as somebody that can be, you feel me, identified as FBA or ADOS. I just know that the American Foundation ain't never identified with me, and I never identified with it. I just know that the American Foundation is so structured by anti-Blackness, I would never fight or debate or beef with another Black person in the name of the Foundation of America. I'd never do that shit. The foundation of America loved black people so much that when they passed 13th Amendment, they made sure that the descendants of slaves was most likely to find themselves conviction of a crime. 13th Amendment, United States federal government shall prohibit slavery except for punishment, conviction of crime. Do we think it's ironic that the people that are most likely to find themselves convicted of crime is a person that is an American descendant of slaves? What does it mean now for you to bolster yourself about being a foundational Black American, knowing that right now, currently in the status quo, the foundation of America is trying to wipe Black people out? They literally want to teach Black people that our ancestors benefited from enslavement. That's the foundation of America. And when I hear foundational American, that's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking like, oh, so you one of them patriots, ain't you, huh? You one of them old patriots, ain't you? I'm not with it. I'm not with it at all. I'm not with it at all. Being Black of Caribbean heritage, I'm really happy I'm tuning in right now. Hey, Dela, listen, Dela. I want to apologize on behalf of any ignorant nigga that ever tried to tell you you're not Black because you're from the Caribbean. What I know is that the difference between me and you, we probably cousins, we probably kinfolks, we probably share ancestral line, we probably share heritage. The only difference is it was some white person that either A, decided to drop your people off on the boat in the island you was at and take my country ass to North Carolina, South Carolina, Texas, or there was an auction block that made it where we were split apart and you went to the Caribbean island and I went to the American South. That's a fact. That is a fact. It is a fact that when it comes to the Western world, Black folks, whether you were in the Caribbean, South America, or North America, 80%, you know, some of us, you feel me? I ain't no abo Black, but there are Black people that was here before, you know what I'm saying, the colonizers came, you feel me? But I don't think all Black folks that. With that being said, though, most of the Black population in the Western world can be attributed to the triangle trade, you feel me? The Middle Passage. And what we know when it comes to the Middle Passage is like, hey, the reason why my culture is American and not Jamaican is because of a boat stop, an auction block. That's the reason why. That's the reason why. Whoever Kamala Harris' daddy is, the Jamaican dude, man, listen, man, he probably got family members in the Americas he don't even know about. I got a Bahamian sister, you feel me? My homegirl, Ole. The FBA people be giving her so much shit. It's like, listen, man, y'all be linking up with literal white supremacists in the name of fighting against Black folks in the diaspora because they ain't American. I ain't got time. FBA plus 80 sound like a Russian interference. Man, hey, keep it stacked with you. I wouldn't, once I process what you said, it's not that unbelievable. You know what I'm saying? There was a lot of unity that Black people throughout the diaspora experienced, especially during 2020, 2021. This proliferation of this white supremacist, divisionist, I'm a better Black than you shit. This, come on, man. So, see, I respect Lee on a lot. Yes, he is bright, but when it comes to race politics, Lee can fall into holes and not knowing his own identity because they created it. Hey, Mud, you sound like either A, one of them Hebrew Israelite brothers, or you sound like one of them Abo people. And what I would tell you is you sitting around trying to pontificate about identity politics, to me, it's idle. You know what I'm saying? We can get a FBA Black person, a Hebrew Israelite, a Moor, you feel me? A Jamaican, a Black British, and line them all up. Do you think white supremacy gonna treat you different because you know who you is? You think white supremacy gonna treat you different because you got this special, unique identity of being Hebrew or being Aboriginal or being an FBA? Do you think that? What I know is that anti-Blackness is a global phenomenon. It structures the world. There are 7 continents in the world. Every single continent is white over Black, light over dark, including the continent of Africa. So again, when you talk about, man, consciously, you know what we talk about, but when it comes to identity, do you think you know who I am better than me? Because if you do, you're taking the same position of the enslaver, of the colonizer, of the master. If you think you know me and my identity better than me, not only is you smoking dope and dog food, I think that you are being like, it's patronizing. You feel me? It sounds like some of that messianic ideas. You don't know who you unless you know what I serve. Like, nah, I ain't that. I ain't that. I ain't that. Kojo said, you can't hate the roots of the tree without ending up hating the tree. You can't hate your origin without ending up hating yourself. You can't hate the land, your motherland, the place that you came from. You can't hate Africa without ending hating ourselves. The black man in the Western Hemisphere, North America, Central America, South America, and the Caribbean is the best example of how one can be made skillfully to hate himself and find everywhere on the earth. I just, you know, I don't care how you identify. Your ass better vote Harris, Walz, or vote. I think that's cool, but we gotta stay our foots on Walz, Harris' neck when it comes to giving tax dollars to foreign entities, while Americans having to choose between paying their rent or feeding themselves. Hey, listen, as an American, if I gotta fight with the American government about whether I'm gonna get my student loans, you know what I'm saying, forgiven, and my government is giving my tax dollars to a country to kill children and kids, then I got a problem. And my problem right now is when I made my videos specifically being critical of Kamala Harris, there are too many individuals that view a criticism of Kamala Harris as an endorsement of Donald Trump. And I think that is bad thinking. You feel me? I don't think that's good thinking at all. I think that if I support you, I should definitely be critical of it. My support is not make you immune for me being able to criticize you. And my beef when it comes to anybody talking about voting Harris, Walz, is that you, not you specifically to make that comment, you feel me? This don't apply to you, it don't apply to you. But there are a lot of individuals it apply to. You believe that criticizing Kamala Harris in any way, shape, form, or fashion is an endorsement of Trump is bad, regressive thinking. It is a bad model for dialogue. It is a bad model for education, accountability, responsibility. It's bad thinking. Only Trump supporters believe that if you vote for Trump, you can't criticize Trump. Just want to be clear on this. Just want to be clear on this. If I say the way that Kamala Harris responded to Palestinians is that of empty signifiers that does not do nothing for the material reality of bombs being dropped on kids, you can't get mad at that. As Black Americans, we are quick to criticize white politicians when they give us lip service when it comes to holding law enforcement accountable when they kill Black people. Likewise, if a politician gives empty signifier, hollow words about what they gonna do, the same thing applies. As Black Americans, we are quick to tell somebody that your words do not stop bullets. We need policy. We need enforcement. We quick to say that as Black Americans. I don't give a damn about how much you are in line or give condolences to this family. Are you going to hold the motherfucker accountable that made it where they putting a person on a t-shirt? No, you're not? Then I don't want to hear it. Listen, man, if Kamala Harris talk some shit to a Michigan protesters, Michigan, literally the state with the biggest amount of Arab Americans population in this country, a state that Biden only won by 120,000 votes in 2020, and Trump only won by 11,000 votes in 2016. What does it mean to tell another American, a Palestinian American, that can't even bury their family? Their family under the rubble. Their family is under goddamn, literally under rubble. Under metal, under cement, under buildings, under schools. They can't bury them. You telling me that you think that your family matter more than them because what? Your family not in Gaza? That's crazy to me. That's immoral, unethical to me. To me, that's unethical and immoral. To me, it's like, hey, the most leverage you have on a politician is when you're trying to get them to earn your vote. Not after you done gave them the vote and they get the position. The most leverage you have on a politician is when they're trying to earn your vote to get in a position, not after they get in a position. There was a lot of people in 2020 that felt like, well, I'm going to get Biden in office first, and I'm going to get Trump out, and then I'm going to push Biden more left. When Biden get in the office, I'm going to push him left then. How that shit work out? It didn't work out. And to the Black Republicans still watching this is the reason why I know that my criticisms for the left and liberalism far surpasses any of y'all ability to understand politics, because y'all usually just regurgitate Fox News speaking points you heard about Democrats versus Republicans. I know that I think I got a better criticism versus conservatism and liberals, especially when it comes to Black conservatives. because I know that deep down, both of those parties don't really care about black people. I do know that it's easier for me to mitigate the black reality, though, voting for one over the other. But it doesn't negate that both parties have an insatiable appetite for locking up black people, killing black people. That's just true. That is just a true statement. I see that those black conservatives ain't gonna show up. We'll see. The only including enslaved people to make their parties have better chance on winning. Neither side wanted to include slave people. Enslaved people, definitely. Hey man, Abraham Lincoln said, if I gotta free 2 slaves and keep all the rest of them on the plantation, if I gotta free half of them and keep half of them on enslaved, I gotta free them all. Anything to keep the union intact. That's what he said. Anything to keep the union intact. HLCP, thank you, man. You say you are correct on race. I'm 1 part stolen Indian and 1 part raw black. My grandmother told me during the Seminole Wars, some of our people left and went to the Caribbean. Black people were here. Yeah. Shout out to all the Gullah Geechee people. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to all the individuals that is, part indigenous, part black. Shout out to all the individuals that actually celebrate their culture and not just came across some TikTok video or YouTube video that told you the real Indian, they the fake Indians. Because I got a problem with that too. You feel me? I got a lot of criticisms towards the Hebrew Israelites, a lot of criticisms towards the black Aboriginals, a lot of criticisms towards the FBA, a lot of criticisms towards ADOS. You feel me? A lot of the criticisms are core. You know what I mean? Too much identity politics, not enough identity of politics. That's some of my learning debate right there. The difference between identity politics versus having an identity of politics is different. We are not Caribbean Corinthians. You are not a foundational Black American. At this point, Bill Gates, I think you are a Russian psyop, and you've been sent here to make this very bad, shallow, claim with no warrant. Mud TV, what are you talking about? You're losing me. If your ancestors are free slaves, what makes them free? They are free because they were once slave, made free. They are from Africa. Hey, B-Face, I'm gonna be real with you. Within a lot of those fringe black groups, at the heart of it is the hatred of being African and the hatred of Africa. They'll be anything but African. I'm Native American. I'm Hebrew. I'm Ashkenazi. It's like, what? You'll be anything other than African, huh? Yeah, because they bought into the international ideas of anti-blackness, and they don't want to be correlated in proximity at all to the pathology or stigma of being black. So then they hit you with the Kendrick Lamar. But Kendrick Lamar sitting down, I ain't black no more. Hey, be real with you. That's when I stopped. That's that damn album that Kendrick made. He's talking about being Hebrew Israelite and shit. That's when I knew too. Drake, if he knew more, he would have had better criticisms, man. He would have had better criticism. But I say that for another video. Man. Malcolm got a point. What Malcolm at? Malcolm always had a point. Say Kamala did a prison program that still goes on now to keep first offenders out of jail and school and helping them get jobs. She is a fabulous DA, Attorney General, Senator for Cali. Hey, Reba, I understand what you're getting at, but this is what I understand though. Even though you are correct that she did do prison programs that are still intact now that keeps, offenders out of jail, she did also oppose Prop 57, I believe, that was able to allow for incarcerated people in California to get out of jail for free. Her office argued that if these people were let out of jail for free, that it would hurt prison labor. Now, I know somebody that was literally a part of the people that Kamala Harris is trying to keep in jail, and he told me he voted for Kamala Harris. To me, that speaks volumes. You know what I'm saying? I'll leave it there. I ain't gonna unpackage that more at all, but just throwing it out there. Hey, Naru, quite. I post all. Hey, man, shout out to you, Kojo. I appreciate you for the what you call. Now you capping for Drake. Good Lord. Hell no, man. You not like us. They not like us. And your name is Bill Gates, cuz. Right now, you are commenting from an anonymous page, fam. I bet you if I went to your page, you ain't posted shit. I have a theory when it comes to the anonymous. I don't call you a coward, but typically they be cowards. You feel me? When you try to comment and participate in social media from a page, you know what I'm saying, anonymity, being anonymous, I don't respect it that much. I don't respect it that much. Not the FBI in that. Yeah, man. The FBI be in that. You know what I'm saying? The FBI be in the chat. Hey, be honest with y'all. If y'all don't think that the FBI and CIA has full current records of different influencers, content creators, think leaders, then I think that you are crazy. I'm willing to bet all the money that I have that 10, 15 years from now, the FBI and CIA are going to be releasing documents about how they were surveillancing, watching, monitoring, targeting different influencers and content creators. And being real, the shit already started back when Mike Brown got killed in Ferguson, Missouri, when a lot of them Palestinians was sending niggas different strategies of how to be able to move around, different tactics they was doing in Gaza. You feel me? We already know there were different individuals that gained a lot of visibility from the Mike Brown protests that found themselves unalived. Now, when COINTELPRO was going on, people that don't know, it stands for the Counterintelligence Program. There were a lot of people that denied the reality of it when it was going on. There was a lot of trumped up charges, no pun intended. There were a lot of informants, a lot of just lies and like false misinformation. Misinformation, you feel me? Surrounding the civil rights movement, where we're talking about Bayard Rustin, Martin Luther King, Malcolm X, the Black Panther Party, the New Republic of Africa, you feel me? The SNCC, like literally FBI was watching these people, man. You know what they were stopping their word about? Stopping the rise of the Black Messiah. That's what the document said. Stopping the rise of the Black Messiah. So anybody that J. Edgar Hoover and the FBI can identify as being a potential Black Messiah, they would neutralize them. Use your imagination for that. They would neutralize them. When you're watching that movie about Fred Hampton and you hearing about how the FBI came in and killed this man while he was next to his pregnant woman, that right there was them trying to stop the rise of the Black Messiah. So when people talk about being a foundational Black American or even being a Republican, a Black Republican, it's like, I don't know what that means in a world where you're siding with people that was vehemently against access, progression, opportunity of Black folks. It's like, hey, Mike Jones, I guarantee you, if I put that live, if I put this link in this live stream right here, I would intellectually bust your ass in debunking whatever you talking about if it's directed at me. If it ain't directed at me, no harm, no foul. But if you're talking about me, what I'm talking about, I guarantee you, if I put this live stream in this comment section, you're not gonna have that energy hopping on this live stream right now. Guaranteed you ain't. As a matter of fact, I put on a timer. You hop on, I'll give you 4 minutes of pure silence that you say whatever you want to say, but you gotta give me 4 minutes back. Let me know, Mike. let me know, Mike. Let me know, Mike. Let me know, man. Let me know. let me know, man. Damn, I guess folks want to be lied to consciously. Hey, I think that there are individuals that really get there are individuals that are invested in making sure lies stay circulating. Hey, Mike, I'm giving you both sides of point of views, man. I'm telling you how Democrats, I'm telling you how Republicans are both full of shit they flush down toilet. I'm telling you how Democrats and Republicans, regardless of what those presidents said, they all believe in American imperialism. They all believe that Israel should be able to obliterate every Palestinian. They all believe that Black people should be locked up and killed. What are you talking about, both sides? What are you talking about? George Floyd, I've said this multiple times in his live stream. George Floyd was killed in a blue state, in a blue city. We still had to rally for him to get justice. Ahmaud Arbery was killed in a red state, in a red city. We had to march to get justice. Both sides is, when it comes to the Black reality, they will make Black individuals fungible objects for whatever they want. A vote, a policy, some swing points. It don't matter. Free Palestine, free Congo, free Sudan. I don't know. I'm gonna tell you on that one. You feel me? Another aspect that's why Americans support Israel so much is tied to the white evangelical doctrine of pre-millennial. Hey, listen. I agree with you so much, Christopher. I would go a step further and say that America, being a Christian country, I think that America was founded by the descendants of Isaac, one way or another. And really, all this shit when it comes to Israel, to me, is just a big conflict amongst a sibling rivalry. And I blame the deadbeat dad of Abraham. I know Father Abraham had many sons. Abraham was a bitch ass nigga to Ishmael. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. As a matter of fact, when you read the Bible in a particular manifestation through what it was written on, it's all about covenants. Think about it. God is all knowing, all powerful, all controlling. Does it make sense for God to create a body that he hates? What they hate? All controlling, all powerful, all knowing. I say that for a different one, you know what I'm saying? But you're 100% correct. War on drugs from Nixon was continued by Reagan and Clinton, but with Clinton, he added the 3 strikes rule. All these would make sure slavery continue. And that's the reason why I don't have time to argue about if Mass a Democrat or Mass a Republican. Like, what are we talking about, man? The prison industrial complex is a bipartisan phenomenon, meaning that both partisan parties have investments within the prison industrial complex. Now, of course, the Democrats do it with more decorum and order, but it doesn't negate that both of them are invested in the prison industrial complex that disproportionately impacts Black people. That's a fact. We sticking with the facts. You know what I'm saying? Evangelical plus the way they need Israel to have power in the region. Oh yeah, definitely. Listen, man. Listen. Once I figured out that the individuals that come from around the Roman Catholic Empire, they believe that the way that the Romans canonized Christianity in 1200 AD with the Council of Nicaea and the Council of Barnabas, they believe that that's universalized. Hey, never mind that world history been going on for millions of years, thousands of years before this. Somehow, white evangelicals have been able to be masterful at being able to convince the entire world that we should buy into this Abrahamic reading of the world. As a matter of fact, here in America, you can't. I know for a fact that if a Choctaw, a Seminole, you feel me, a Chickasha, you know what I'm saying, a Cherokee, if they went and said, "Hey, man, I have religious texts that prove that this place right here was mine before any of y'all got here, they gotta leave." White folks gonna laugh at them and say, "Y'all lost." But somehow in Israel, it don't matter. Somehow in Israel, it's like, man, we read the Bible, and the Bible say it's like that sound in a country that prides itself on separation of church and state and freedom of speech. It sounds like you put a lot of religious dictating in how you expect for American citizens to support this apartheid state. On top of that, we always say nobody's above the law. Israel has broken how many international war crimes? How many they broken? How many? How many? How many? Huh? Okay. Say, hey, Paul, a Black job is those jobs that white folks didn't want to do, and then they gave it to us. And now it's jobs, you know what I'm saying, that I want to do. But I caught you though. You know what I mean? You being one of those racist, anonymous cowards that is trying to say something. Like where I'm from, we never respect the message, you feel me, if it ain't stamped with an address. You know what I'm saying? If you're gonna send messages, you need to stamp them. We don't respect no anonymous slugs, no sneak diss, and no subliminals. Right now, this right here being Paul Sauce, whatever your name is, I know you fake. You feel me? You probably say things from this particular platform that you don't want to be held accountable for, that you don't have the balls to stand up on, and that you don't have the courage enough to stand by. That's why you create this little page right here. You feel me? For you to be able to make, you know what I'm saying, bullshit things. It's mad you in resolutions. Oh, definitely, man. We out here in Tassagali, North Carolina, do a lot for our freedmen on top of a lot of them getting on their own. Hey, listen, man, when I moved to Oklahoma and learned about the Freedmen's Bureau and learned more about the controversial history of Cherokee Nation with the black people in the Freedmen's Bureau, oh man, I say that for another live. I say it for another live. These comments from these accounts, suddenly y'all started commenting. It's a bit odd. Hey, Stomp, I'm be real with you, man. It's something about an unapologetic black person that make a lot of white conservatives feel some type of way. I'm sure that they virtue signaled in one of their little bullshit ass group chats, man. We got this consciously going again. We need all of y'all, get on all your fake pages, get on all your burner pages. Here goes the link to Consciously YouTube channel. I need y'all to go over there and do X. That's what they do, man. As a matter of fact, a lot of the black conservatives that love bothering me, they are literally white conservative surrogates. They're gonna do whatever their white friend tell them to do so they can prove they want to be down. Like Brandy, I want to be down. That's what they be trying to prove. They trying to prove they want to be down. That's the reason why so many black conservatives bother me. So many black conservatives bother me because they looking for some conservative clout. They want to benefit from the hate of consciously amongst white conservatives, hoping they can get them some capital amongst them. So we're gonna play into the anti-blackness. You feel me? You know, most black Republicans are the black friend that racists always talk about and beat their chest on. I'm not racist. I got black friends. The black friend would be Candace Owens. Hey, Mike Jones, fam. I'm about to get ready to block you because you already showed me you ain't about what you're talking about. I gave you the opportunity to hop your courageous typing ass on this live stream. You don't want to do it. You don't want to do it. Because you know, like I know, there's a difference between speaking points and making arguments. And I think, my friend, you, Mike Jones, you got speaking points. You ain't got no arguments. You know? So let's see. Everybody disagree with me or bots. Take is very just like Mike, fam. Mike, I'm not calling you a bot. I'm calling you an anonymous coward. I recognize that it is a human typing the shit you are typing. I'm calling you an anonymous coward that is powered by human autonomy. I don't think you're a bot. I think that bots would have a better way of conducting themselves in a live stream. I think you are a bullshit person that can't stand on what you say and do. So you literally go to your anonymous Mike Jones page. That way your employer, your mama, your daddy can't see how much of a piece of shit you is. That's what I think. We gonna put that on no machine, no bot. That what you is. A sucker. You feel me? A sucker that don't want to be held accountable what they say. For me, my name, my face tied to what I'm saying and doing. It's not for you because you a sucker. You feel me? And you know what? 2 + 2 is 4. Dogs bark. Suckers, what's up? I don't expect nothing out of you, but what I'm saying, I don't expect nothing different. I don't expect nothing different at all. You feel me? You hey, fetters Buddha, beneath a bot. You feel me? I don't like what beneath the bot. As a matter of fact, the Russians wouldn't waste none of their money pushing none of the unclever shit you've said in this live stream. I think the Russians are much better with their money than that. And I don't think any of them would waste time to program a bot to say the shallow things you said in this live stream. They just wouldn't. I know they wouldn't. You know what I'm saying? And so we clear. I leave it alone. We have to play chess and side with whoever gives us enough time to get organized. While truth. Hey, quantum hacker. I agree with you. I agree with you so much that I think that we should get out of the knee-jerk reactions of what's going on right now and start thinking about the long game. Feel me? Start thinking about the long game. Because I think that a lot of us get too caught up in what's happening right in front of us, and it blinds us to the long game and how the Heritage Foundation was really set up during Ronald Reagan's presidency, and how it's a Ronald Reagan presidency. The 60s. The Heritage Foundation has been around since the 60s. 60 years. 60 years of planning. As a matter of fact, the Heritage Foundation was the foundation that helped Ronald Reagan get into office. Only 40% of the shit that the Heritage Foundation wanted was passed by Reagan. And literally 40, 50 years after Reagan presidency, we still have to deal with the impacts of Reagan's policies. You feel me? That's how bad it is. You know? Hey, y'all do me a favor. Say, nah, 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 nah. Nah, 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 nah. Hey, hey, hey. Goodbye. MSNBC's Michael Steele makes a lot of good points. Do you respect those sorts of black conservatives? Not really. I'm being honest with you, not really. I mean, that I'm sure he makes good points. You feel me? I'm sure he makes good points. And to be real, I'm not that familiar with Mike Steele. What I do know is their threshold and standard of criticism be a lot lower when it comes to their fellow Republicans than it comes for their fellow black people. You feel me? To me, it's like in 2024, if you are a black person saying you care about the black experience and you doing it and saying that you conclude with being a Republican, I question your ideology. I question your morals. I question your ethics. I question how you come to conclusions. It's being real. Just being real. You feel me? I think that I don't think it's not too many black Republicans you'll be able to cherry pick in 2024 and you'd be like, man, I don't know. You feel me? This go for Condoleezza Rice, Colin Powell, and they guess what? They don't even align themselves with today's Republican Party. You feel me? The Republican Party they was in 04, 03, they don't even identify with the Republican Party in 2024. So it's just like that's part of my point, though. You feel me? Like, man. Shout out to you, man. My 2 cents, y'all. Being real though, I'm finna get ready to go talk to some people. I got some more content to make, man. I'm definitely about to make my video about Cori Bush and what's Bowman's name? What's Bowman's first name? Bowman of New York. What's Bowman's first name? Can't think about it, man. So I just in this live on how I started it. You feel me? In this live on how I started it. And just drop out some last little jewels about how the Republican Party of today are nothing but old school Southern Dixiecrats that opposed everything that was good for black people. In the memo in 1968, so y'all can read it too, so y'all can see it. In the memo in 1968, Republican presidential nominee Richard Nixon, whose campaign he worked with, Philip wrote, "The fulcrum of realignment is law and order, Negro socioeconomic revolution syndrome, and Nixon should continue to emphasize crime, decentralization of federal social programming, and law and order. Republicans had generally written off the South since the end of Reconstruction in the late 1870s. But in his memo to Nixon, and in his 1969 book, The Emerging Republican Party Majority, Phillips, who died, said literally, Republicans to pursue a Southern strategy by pandering. That's what they say right there. The word pandering in there. Republicans to pursue Southern strategy by pandering to regions' anti-civil rights backlash. In time, this not only turned the white South into a Republican base, but also decades later turned northern state Republican parties into bastions of Southern white values such as they vary. This is my last excerpt, and then I'm gonna holler at y'all, man. Because I like to give information, man. FBA Rob. Trump ain't never won popular vote. You know what I'm saying? FBA, can you find the best debater you have in the FBA camp and tell them consciously on all the intellectual smoke? Can you tell them that for me before I go back to what I'm about to read? Appreciate you. Thank you. Thank you very much. This right here, if you want to learn more about the Southern strategy, if you want to learn more about how the Republican Party was able to appeal to white racist folks down South to get them to switch from being Dixiecrats to Republicans, here's a great source. It's a book. It's called The Long Southern Strategy. How chasing white voters in the South changed American politics. Here's a part of the description. It says the Southern strategy is traditionally understood as a gold water and Nixon era effort by the Republican Party to win over disaffected white voters in the Democratic stronghold of the American South, to realign those voters with the GOP. The Republican strategy was the Republican Party strategy to win over disaffected white voters in Democratic stronghold of the American South, to realign these voters with the GOP. The party abandoned its past support for civil rights and used racially coded language to capitalize on Southern white racial angst. However, that decision was but one in a series of decisions the GOP made, not just on race, but on feminism and religion as well, and what Angie Maxwell and Todd Shields calls the long Southern strategy. Education is elevation. Research over me search. If you're interested in getting you a little shirt, it's available on theconsciously.com. If you're interested in getting you a hat, it's available on theconsciously.com. I was on live for almost 2 hours. None of the suckers, none of the Republican suckers I'm talking about in this live decided to pop up. Before I got on this YouTube, Facebook, Twitter live, I was on TikTok live with a couple hundred people, and the Republicans was on there. They did not show up. The dude from the video talking all loud, cussing all that shit, he know what's up. Guarantees you he would not jump his ass into no intellectual debate talking about what we done read. Guaranteed. Excuse me. It's the party of racism, some of the home of the Klan, alt-right, David Duke, and the like. It hurts me that black people will walk under shoulder to shoulder with that. Man. You my 2 cents, y'all. It don't make sense to me. It don't make sense at all. But hey, man. What I've learned is that you trying to make logic out of some shit don't make sense because it's illogical will do nothing but drive you crazy because it will not change. In fact, it is illogical. It makes no sense.
Spontaneous percussion.